Hey guys, how's it going? Solo back here with another daily update video, and kind of a choppy day in the market, which is what I kind of expected if you've been following my videos for quite some time now. And let's just take a look at the heat map here. So big tech, NASDAQ, the Qs, QQQ, got a pretty big hit today. I mean, look at Amazon, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, Google, all down around 2%. Netflix also down almost 2.5%. Semis got hit hard. AMD down almost 2.9. Nvidia down 3.7. Qualcomm down 1.7. But again, the honey badger, Micron just does whatever Micron wants to do. It does not follow the rest of the semiconductor sector. Micron just does not care. Micron says, you guys are going red, I'm going to go green. I'm going to go up 2.4% because why not? I'm the honey badger. So if you missed it today was the first day of the Fed's FOMC meeting. So Jerome Powell at 2 p.m. Eastern time basically said that he is going to keep interest rates near zero until 2023. So for the next 3 years, basically, Jerome Powell is going to keep interest rates very low. Now, leave me a comment below if you think that's a good idea or a bad idea. But as you can see, let's take a look at the chart on AMD here. So the charts were kind of flat, really. I think the whole market was just waiting for this Fed meeting around 2 p.m. Eastern time to start. But as you can see, once that meeting happened, and actually a little bit before it, AMD and the market in general basically started selling off, because I think the market did not really like that, because I think the market knows, and they agree with my hypothesis, that we need to raise interest rates because we need to let these unprofitable companies fail and go bankrupt so that new companies can start up that are profitable, that have good business models. And we need to reduce the number of zombie companies, basically. But Jerome Powell is basically not allowing that to happen because he's making debt be incredibly cheap. I mean, you could go buy a house right now and get a cheap, very cheap 30-year mortgage if you wanted to, right? So the concern is, or my fear is, what happens if, let's say I go out, I buy my mansion in Monaco, right? I get a very low interest rate. Maybe Monaco is not the best example, but somewhere in the United States, let's say. And I get a very low interest rate on a mortgage on a house that I really can't afford. And then now, because every week, almost it feels like 1 million new people file for unemployment. So what happens now that after I get my mortgage and I buy my house, I lose my job and now I have no income? Well, how am I supposed to pay my mortgage? I mean, even if it is quote unquote low, it's still more than $0, and that's exactly how much I'm earning if I don't have a job right now. So I don't really understand the long-term game plan here. My big fear is that this is what happens, but not just to me, but for an overwhelming number of people, and that we now have another real estate crash because people were basically getting cheap mortgages that they ultimately found out that they couldn't afford because now they lost their jobs because of the illness. So let me know if you agree with that sentiment. Let me know if you disagree. Keep it civil, please, in the comments. We'll have a friendly and healthy discussion. But yeah, I mean, and I think the market also did not really like that. And I kind of thought that the market was either going to go big green or basically sell off. It wasn't really going to trade flat based on how this Fed meeting went. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. The market feels like it did not like what Jerome Powell and the Fed had to say. There has a continuation of the meeting tomorrow, so let's see if things change. But even you can see after hours, it's pretty been flat, right? Now, this is actually good news for me because if you follow my videos so far, you know that I have 200 shares of AMD that I got assigned at $85 a share. And yesterday, I sold 2 covered calls, or 2 contracts, I should say, at the 85 strike price for actually September 25th, 2 Fridays from now, just because the weekly premiums this week across the board, across all tickers I looked at, were just not very good for some reason. But looking 2 weeks out, the premiums were much more juicy. So I went 2 weeks out and I opened 2 covered calls at the 85 strike, and I opened them for actually $97 in premium per contract. So you can see right now, they're already only worth $40. So $97, which is what I sold them for. If I wanted to buy them back right now, if I could after hours, for example, I would only have to pay $40. So I'm up $57 per contract times 2. So I'm already up $114 in 2 trading days basically on my 2 AMD covered calls. I mean, if you look at it, $40 divided by where I started at 97, there's only 41% in value of that contract remaining. So I'm already over 50% profitable in 2 days. Now, if you follow the TastyTrade method, some people will say close out these positions and then open some new ones. But right now, I'm going to let it ride and try to collect max profit. Let's see what happens tomorrow and Friday and then make a decision there. But, you know, why pay extra commissions right now if you can just let them ride and collect more premium? Because I don't think AMD is going to get to 85 anytime soon. It's about $10 less. I mean, it's actually $8 less or so at $76.95. But let's just squeeze out some more theta and get more profit, because there's also no guarantee that if I open up another covered call that I'm going to get a better valuation than I did yesterday at $97. So we'll have to wait and see, because if AMD were to continue dropping tomorrow, and let's say I bought back my position today, close it out and lock in profit, if AMD continues falling tomorrow, then if I want to open up another strike or another covered call at the 85 strike, I would actually collect less premium because it's further out of the money. So right now, it doesn't really make sense for me to take that gamble and close out my positions. I feel like I made a good play in opening them up for $97 in premium. So let me reap, my rewards and ride them out to max profit, or as much profit as I can get. So I'm really happy about how AMD is traded right now. Let's just take a quick look at the AMD chart on TradingView. So if you saw my recent video on 10-minute trades the past 2 days, you can see I believe that right now there is support at about $75, and I believe there's resistance at about $80. So as you can see, for the past actually 4 trading days, we've been trading between that range of about 75 to 80. And today as well, we traded about between 76 and just shy of 80. So we'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow, whether AMD wants to break up or break down eventually. Hopefully it breaks up. I am scared because there's this gap to fill around the low 70s. And there's another gap to fill around the low 60s. So I really hope we don't break down below, because I think if we break down below, we are going to get into the low 70s. And then hopefully we don't get even further low into the low 60s. Hopefully we gap up to the upside. We are going to be approaching this level of support, which is the 50-day moving average, which is also right around 75. So I do think $75 is going to be a relatively strong level of support based on this trend line and also the 50-day moving average. But we'll just have to wait and see what the market does in the next 2 days. Let's take a look at my other plays that I have on, and that's Space or Virgin Galactic. And as we can see, very choppy day in Space, up and down, although the whole day we were trading in the red. We actually ended up closing the day down just about a little under 2%. It looks like we're rallying a little bit after hours, but we're still in the red compared to where we closed yesterday. But again, for what it's worth, it's good news for me because I also sold covered calls on Space. Again, premiums weren't juicy for this Friday the 18th, so I sold them for the following Friday the 25th. And I was able to sell 19 strike covered calls for $60 in premium each. And I sold 2 contracts because I own 200 shares of Space and I was assigned at $19 a share. So as we can see, again, these are only worth $28. So right now, 60 minus 28, I am already up $32 per contract. So times 2, because I have 2 contracts, I am already up $64 on my 2 contracts of Virgin Galactic. And again, I am basically over 50% profitable on Space. So same kind of mentality with Space that I just described with AMD, but I'm going to let these things ride to max profit, because looking at the TradingView chart on Space, I also drew this trend line a long time ago where I think support is around the mid 14s, around $14 and some change, but I think there's a relatively strong area of resistance at about $18 and some change. So my strike is at 19 for my covered calls. And as we can see, all the way since August 18th, Space has been trading in this channel between about as a low of high 14s to a high of just over 18. But we can see that's the wick. That's not where the candle was. So, until we get some extra oomph and Space can blast above 18, I think my 19 strike covered calls are going to be good to run till max profit next Friday, the 25th. But we'll have to wait and see. Until some good news comes out on Space, there really hasn't been any news breaking on Virgin Galactic in the past few weeks that I can remember. So I think that's why Space has just kind of been relatively flat for the past few weeks of trading. But again, I will be perfectly happy with collecting max profit on my AMD and Virgin Galactic covered calls, as long as neither ticker just drops so far away from my strikes of $85 and $19 respectively. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, if that does happen, like I said, I'll just sell covered calls below my cost basis, but still far enough out of the money where I feel comfortable that I won't get my shares called away for a loss. So that was really the trading day for today. I mean, the big thing in the market was really the Fed meeting and how the market reacted to it. Let me know how your options are doing based on the Fed meeting. I'm assuming if you had opened some cash secured puts this week, they're probably close to getting tested or maybe even in the money, depending on how far out of the money they were when you opened them. Hopefully we'll rebound tomorrow, have another green day, and close out the week strong on Friday as well. But we'll have to wait and see. As always, if you're not in the Discord server already, you are missing out. Make sure you get in there now while it's still cheap. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. And as always, happy trading.